available free of charge from the Supporters Club shop, which is next to the smaller of our scoreboards. Refreshments are available in the Steel Backs Cafe and in Wilson Centre End. And the heavy street at the David Cable End, also the coffee store at the David Cable End, just next to the Spencer Pavilion. And if you'd like to listen to our in-ground live all commentary service, which is provided by members of the Northamptonshire Association of Headlines, the commentary group, that service is available for anybody for a returnable deposit of £5 to access one of their commentary headsets. You'll find our Northamptonshire Association of Blind volunteers in and around the Turner Stand. And finally, Northern supporters are reminded that T20 glass tickets are now on sale. We have season tickets available at £99 for all the matches in Vantage Road, including double headers. And we also have early bird tickets on sale until May the 7th for individual matches. Tickets available to purchase at nccc.co.uk. This match will resume in 10 minutes. A reminder to Northamptonshire regulars that we do have international cricket coming to Rothesay Road this summer with the England Lions playing India A, the 4-day match that starts on Friday, June 6th. And later that month, at the beginning of July, the England under-19s and the India under-19s will face each other in two one-day internationals. Tickets are available to book on the club website. And a little later this summer, the World Championship of Legends returns to Rothesay Road. On Tuesday, July 22nd, we have a double header of England versus West Indies and India versus South Africa. And the following day, the 23rd, Australia play West Indies. You can come and see some of cricket's finest returns to the field for synthetic T20 action. Tickets available at www.ncc.co.uk/WCL. And on July the 12th, the county ground will be playing first to live music. That's the Incredible Legends of Soul Girls, which is going to be brought to you by some stars of London's Rothesay. That includes some hits from some all-time greats, including Stevie Wonder, James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, and more. And the final reminder that our steelbacks and the community Easter camps and how they will book. We have a variety of camps available for your children to enjoy developing their cooking skills over the Easter holidays. For more information how to cook, visit ncc.co.uk/community-hub. Welcome to the county ground. This Rothesay County Championship match between Northampton and Kent is about to resume.
Good morning and welcome to Northamptonshire County Cricket Club, where day 3 of the Rothesay County Championship for 2025 is about to get underway. The players, as you can see on screen, are making their way out to the middle. State of the game is that Kent need 3 Northamptonshire wickets to win the opening fixture. And in a slightly more unlikely scenario, Northamptonshire require 153 runs. It's Keith Dudgeon has ripped the heart out of this Northamptonshire's batting lineup. He's currently with 4 wickets for 32 runs. And the bit of resistance that has come from Northamptonshire is that of George Bartlett, who walks out with Dom Leach. Dom Leach, the new man. Justin Broad, if you didn't see last night, was dismissed last ball of the day. But George Bartlett is 54 not out of 67 balls. My name is Dan Jadzovic, joined by Phil Rowe. The stream is powered by Daffabet. It feels quite one-sided now, doesn't it, Phil?
It really does, yeah. What odds on a Northamptonshire victory? We may get the opportunity, we will get the opportunity to see Liam Guthrie play some lusty blows.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an impossible task from Northamptonshire, and there's multi-facets to why this situation exists, with Northampton still 150 odd behind, 7 down in the final innings. It's not one-dimensional, but a big part of that, you have to say, I'm going to use the word overpowered. I think the Northampton batting lineup in both innings has been overpowered by the quality and the depth of the Kent attack. And that'll be music to the ears of Kent supporters who weren't able to say that very much in Div 1 last year. So a really good start from that unit. Haven't they bowled well?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's been on show a wonder delivery at any point. I suppose Guthrie's to Crawley would be the one that did the most, but Kent have just been so consistent at hitting that good area on a pitch that's offered enough for the seam bowlers, as Nathan Gilchrist opens the day from the Lynn Wilson centre end, starts with a short ball to Dom Leach. They've just stuck to a plan, and they've done it perfectly. They haven't ventured from that line that they've tried to bowl. They haven't really ventured from the length that they've tried to bowl. They've read the pitch really well and really quickly. They did get the benefit of batting on it first, I suppose. They do get the read, but yeah, I've absolutely nailed the 2 days of cricket that we've had.
And yeah, they're remembering, as you've just said there, they got stuck in as well. And that's an important factor.
The end of play last night, the Dukes was doing plenty, wasn't it, for Keith Dudgeon and Nathan Gilchrist. It's the end of the over that Gilchrist started last night. Just 2 balls to complete. Dom Leach has negotiated those successfully. Well, I think the scenario here for Northamptonshire, Phil, is George Bartlett needs to play the innings of his life.
He does.
180 not out, with contributions from Leach, Guthrie and Weatherall.
Yeah, I mean,
here and there.
I don't know. It's probably impossible to find out how many times teams have won games from this position. Not many.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Under 1%. And as you've also said, the pitch has offered movement. There have been periods, small periods, when it's gone flatter.
Yeah.
But generally has offered enough for the seamers.
Yeah, it's Keith Dudgeon from the David Capel end. Starts with an ooh and an ah from Kent's Slip Corden, who have been vocal throughout the course of the game. And he's been fantastic. Keith Dudgeon said he's on 4 wickets for the innings, searching for his first fifer in County Championship cricket. It's well left by George Bartlett. You have to say, look very good. yesterday. 54 off 68 deliveries for George Bartlett.
Yeah, I've been pleased with this innings from George Bartlett. I think the word I've used about George in the past has been presence. And, you know, I've kind of wanted to see more of a presence on the cricket field.
Yeah.
Immediately we saw that on the field. He was throwing himself around all over the place, did some really nice fielding, turned threes into twos in the field, and was busy and was visible. He was present. He's not going to be shouting his head off. He's not that kind of guy. So you got to bring more body language, better positive body language, and he did that, and he has continued that into this innings. Finds himself 55 not out, and there have been times when you might wonder, George Bartlett's coming in, you know, the wickets are tumbling around him, Snick gone. Not in this innings, and I think that's one to keep an eye on, because that's what he needs to add to his game, is a little bit more grit, and he's showing that. So that's a positive.
Leach back on strike. Plays a miss from that one from Keith Dudgeon.
Yeah, he's played very, very well, and it's not been easy, has it? I mean, nobody has found it easy. In the Kent first innings, I think you spoke to some of the Kent guys about that first innings. Mieye played really well, and Leaning played very well, but both said, well, we never really felt in, you know? So it's not been easy. So that tests more than technique. It's a bit of ticker as well. And George Bartlett, tick in the ticker box. Good man.
Yeah, it's been pleasant to watch, as that one's just shot along the ground there, isn't it, from Keith Dudgeon? It has a point at the area at which it's landed. Well stopped by Harry Finch. Kent have got 3 slips. They've got a 4th slip and a gully, but it's quite considerably deeper than the 3-man slip cordon. Point, extra cover, mid-on, mid-wicket, and a fine leg for Keith Dudgeon. Oh, that's an absolute beauty.
That has zipped off the surface, hasn't it, Dan?
You do incredibly well to miss those, don't you, Rowie?
I mean, that's just too good. You know exactly what I'm going to say in a moment. Oh, that's beautifully, beautifully bowled.
6 inches fuller.
Yep, exactly that. If he's half forward rather than half back to that, probably nicks it.
Yeah. But I don't think Keith Dudgeon has done anything really to be critical of, has he, throughout the course of this game so far? He's been absolutely fantastic.
No, not at all. He's bowled brilliantly. Batted nicely too.
Well defended, Dom Leach. End of the over. 1 run from it. 152 to win.
Only 152 to win.
I think the other thing with Northamptonshire as well is that first innings with Kent. There was 3 drop catches, which we tallied up to add 62 runs to the board. It was Mieye got dropped on 44, added 28 before he was dismissed. Leaning was dropped on 32 and added 8. Dudgeon himself dropped on 0 and added 26. Then there were 38 extras in that innings as well. There were a few leg byes in there which can't necessarily always be policed or can't be policed. But there were wides from Liam Guthrie at the start of the afternoon session. There were 5 front foot nobles from Dom Leach from the David Capel end to start the day. And you suddenly get up towards 90 runs there. That makes this run chase an awful lot different. And it's not a small margin. It's a big number in the context of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. The old-fashioned term for all of those things, which I don't hear very much nowadays, is out cricket. And there'll be people listening to this going, nodding, so yeah, out cricket. Yeah, I remember when people used to talk about that. But if we kind of group that as out cricket, I mean, it's kind of like to define anything that's not straightforwardly batting and bowling, I guess. Out cricket, we've been short in that. So a little rusty and a slow start to the campaign, and to such a degree that it has had a material effect on the balance of play right now. It really has, and the balance of the scoreboard. It's been that significant. So that's probably one of the easier things to adjust. I mean, you know, what you don't want it to be doing is for the next game us to be having that very same conversation about out cricket, because part of that is a bit about game awareness. It's a bit about getting your foot behind the line more consistently. People drop catches, you know, that happens. It so happens that it was one of the work-ons for Northants.
Yeah.
I don't attach any blame to anyone for that. All that you can do is ask yourself questions, and the questions you want to ask is: are we catching enough in practice? Is that intense enough? You know, are we close enough? Is it fast enough? And I don't know because I haven't seen it, but I'm willing to bet it is.
Yeah.
But people drop catches, and when they drop a number of catches in the game, it has an effect on the outcome, and that's what's happened. You do find yourself as a coach sometimes. I'll come back to that.
Beauty from Gilchrist. That's really lifted off the surface there.
You do find yourself, fortunately, sometimes at times with naturally very good slippers.
Yeah.
And the stats on the Northants drops in the slip cordon over the last 3-4 years would tell you we're not blessed with those natural 80% slippers. But you got to do your best. So, you know, and I am fairly positive that the work's being done. But you're gonna, you know, firstly catches go down. When they go down in a clutch, they have an effect on the scorecard. That's what's happened in this game. It becomes a thing. You know, when something becomes a thing, it becomes more difficult to adjust. And I think the dropping of chances has become a thing. So much so that the head coach, in interview before the season started, made reference to it and said, "I hope we can hold on to more chances than has been the case." So he's come over and he's aware of that.
Yeah.
And nobody will be more disappointed than the two lads who dropped their chances in the grabbers and a difficult one at mid wicket. But keep doing the work, keep believing, want the ball to come to you. You know, you've got to have the attitude as a slipper as, I want the next one. You know, I want the next one. So there's probably work to do for the coaches, not only in hitting balls and ramping catches to those guys as often as they possibly can. There's also work to do in keeping them believing.
Yeah.
You know, but it's tough. It's tough. And it has been in sharp contrast to the Kent catching. In particular, I'm looking at him here, Jack Leaning, who was caught brilliantly. 5 difficult chances, and he's pocketed every one of them.
Nice times, wasn't it, by Bartlett? But straight to the man patrolling the offside boundary. They want to bowl at Dom Leach, unsurprisingly. Pitch is just starting to misbehave a little bit from the David Capel end. There's a couple from Keith Dudgeon have just shot along the ground a little bit. And actually, Nathan Gilchrist has got a little bit more lift from the Lynn Wilson centre end at the morning of day 3. But yeah, Jack Leaning, brilliant. 5 chances, 5 catches. There was just the one, wasn't there, for Bell Drummond, who went one-handed at third slip. Did get a hand to it, but not enough of it to be able to hold on. Left well alone. And the other thing with Northamptonshire is what they were able to do, is they were able to box off that first innings and the disappointment from the catches and the extras or the sundries, whatever you want to call them. And they came back in that third innings and they did play really well. It did take a little while. Kent was 60 for no loss. The heavy roller does have an effect. And let's not kid ourselves, Zach Crawley, Ben Compton are going to be 2 of the best openers that you'll get in Division 2 this summer.
Yeah, very true.
And they took 10 wickets in the afternoon session, held on to their catches. Nice shot, Dom Leach.
Yeah, no, I mean, very well said. It is one of the genuine. We're not searching for that as a positive. That is a positive. You take 10 wickets in a session, going in at 60 for none and looking down the barrel, you know, at the bottom of the well, as Northants found themselves at that lunch break, and they came back and showed a lot. And I think that's not all positives are equal.
Yes,
as we've used that term a few times, and that is a huge positive. And hopefully that augurs well for the rest of the campaign. I'm sure it will.
Wrestled themselves into the game, gave themselves a chance on day 2 and day 3. The rest of day 2 had other plans, but at that time in the game, Northamptonshire were back in it and had earned the right to be back in it.
Just needed a partnership, didn't they? A big partnership would have been the backbone of this chase.
Somebody to hang around with George Bartlett.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would have made a significant difference. As it is, Kent have asked plenty of questions and been given plenty of answers from Northamptonshire. Dom Leach plays and misses at that one from Keith Dudgeon. It's the end of the over. It's a dot ball, so it's another 1 to the tally. George Bartlett just takes the one off the over and stands for the remainder down the non-striker's end. Batted for 45 minutes, Dom Leach, in that first innings. 3 off 37 with Rob Keogh.
Yeah.
Very competent, very capable to be able to defend, get in, do a job for the guy at the other end. At the moment, just finding it difficult to line up Keith Dudgeon and Nathan Gilchrist, as you'd expect, with the way that the two of those have performed over the course of the 2 days. That is going to be that single off the over from George Bartlett. You will see the Kent fielders converge in on the cut strip and join Dom Leach, give him some company. Can Dom Leach negotiate the 5 balls from Nathan Gilchrist?
And people may be wondering, is it a sensible thing to take the single off the first ball of the over? I think it is. We still need 150. Dom Leach can play. There's going to be a number of catches around. There are 4 there, so there are holes in the field. And there's something to say he can't just get a bat on that ball, for example, and rotate again. So, yeah, if there was 20 needed, that's a different story, I think.
Yeah.
Also, Dom Leach is number 9. He's not number 11.
Yeah.
He's got to do his own batting.
Yeah, absolutely right. Good point, well made. So it's an early career for Dom Leach so far. Nathan Gilchrist fires one up there. He was out LBW to Jazz Singh in the first innings. Just testing Dom Leach's resolve. So the numbers aren't the greatest when you look at them, but as you say, he is a number 9 for a reason. He's not a number 11.
Mm-hmm. They get through their overs so quickly, Ken. That ball was bowled before I'd looked back up. You get into the rhythm of watching, don't you? I'm making a few notes as well. Caught me mid-note.
So yet to get off the mark. He's now faced 18 deliveries. It just shows, isn't it? George Bartlett has faced 3, 4 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Leach has faced 18 of them. 3 full overs that Kent have had at Dom Leach. That's another thing that Daniel Bell-Drummond and Kent have been superb at. They've bowled at the guy they wanted to bowl to. Short ball.
Yeah, and going back to the to the out cricket comment from earlier, in the partnership towards the end of the Kent innings, when Northamptonshire did not want to bowl at Keith Dudgeon, they ended up bowling a lot at Keith Dudgeon, and there were at least 5 occasions when Dudgeon took a single off the 6th ball of the over. I think a couple of those were just in gaps and were singles, but I think there are others, when 3, 4 of those occasions when a little bit more nous, we could have squeezed that. So Northamptonshire could have squeezed a little tighter.
Yep.
And what does Dudgeon then do? Does he try and play a bigger shot? Does he hit the ball to the field? What happens? Is there a run-out chance? We never know, because he was pretty much able to comfortably wander up the other end. In fact, to the extent that on one of those occasions, Vasconcelos was urging his teammates to come in off the boundary to squeeze after 4 balls of the over. Nobody responded to that, and Dudgeon dropped it all into the hole on the leg side and virtually walked at the other end. So I think I said earlier, our out cricket as a collective out cricket was rusty, and that was that's another example, Dan, that you've highlighted there, which is a fair comment, I think.
Dudgeon continues. Looks quick this morning, doesn't it, from Keith Dudgeon? Bartlett defends well on the back foot. No single there. Another thing, Grant Stewart, Jazz Singh have backed up these two incredibly well. They've bowled so well as a quartet, with a little bit of Joey Everson when it's been needed as well. But the 4 of them predominantly have, just been superb.
There are some positives in our out cricket. I'll come back to that in a moment because we've got to be balanced about this. And one of those positives is the number of times that bowling changes were made that led to throughout the game, actually both sides. But I'm just talking at the moment about Northants. Number of times Luke Proctor changed the bowling to great effect.
Yeah.
No better example of that than the twice that he introduced safe save into the bowling attack. And looking at the way the pitch is played and the time of year and so on, and the resources at his disposal, people might have raised an eyebrow, but actually not the only occasions when a change in bowling led to success immediately. As I said yesterday when Safe was bowling, he may well find himself bowling more first over innings this year than in previous years.
Yeah, he certainly shuffled the pack well, didn't he?
He did.
Another massive positive is seeing Rafi Weatherall back on the cricket field in competitive cricket and bowling the way that he did. It wasn't just a case of seeing him out there in whites. It was really, really good fun to see him with ball in hand and provide to be a real handful for Kent. Got some brilliant wickets across the course of those 2 innings. Nice shot by Dom Leach, but can't get it past the man at extra cover.
Yeah, I think, what did you say is his 5th or 6th first-class match, Rafi Weatherall?
Yeah.
Didn't look like that, did it?
Not at all. Looks like he's been playing for years.
He knew where the ball was going, and which is a good start. But when it got there, it had plenty on it. Plenty of movement, plenty of pace, plenty of consistency. That was a huge positive for Northampton in this game.
Left alone, shapes away from Leach. That's 22 balls now that Dom Leach has survived this morning.
I wouldn't be saying too much to Keith Dudgeon, really. He doesn't want to know what Phil Rowe thinks, I'm sure. But I think his length has been just back of a length, and I think he needs to be just forward of a length. The movement is not extravagant, but it's enough that off the length he's bowling, it's probably done too much for Dom Leach by the time it reaches him. A little bit fuller. If it deviates the same amount, it takes the edge as it goes through.
Yeah, you mentioned yesterday evening whether the dew just came down on the on the outfield and the cut strip. Oh, it's a good bumper. It's gone straight up and it's gone straight to Harry Finch. Gloves, handle. I'm not sure what from this distance, but it's a great bumper from Keith Dudgeon. He's got 5 wickets for Kent on debut, and the 5th of those is Dom Leach, who provided a bit of resistance for Northamptonshire. He faced 24 deliveries without scoring, was eventually bumped out by the South African overseas. And again, George Bartlett is at the non-striker's end when a Northamptonshire batter falls.
Well, there's no double bluff there, was there? The ball before, they moved the man from 4th slip, got the helmet, went into short leg. Is it a double bluff? No, it's not, because deal with that. And it was into George Bartlett and under the armpit, really, the perfect spot. And sorry, Dom Leach, not George Bartlett. Dom Leach didn't play it particularly well. It was on him before he knew it, and ended up just sort of maybe in the handle or the shoulder of the bat, or a bit of glove involved. North it went, and comfortably taken. But yeah, he has been prized out. He's been got out. He hasn't just dialed that innings in. He tried to keep his, as he should do, try to keep his partner company for as long as he can. But a good bit of bowling, wasn't it? It's all very well putting the man in at short leg and saying, I'm going to bowl a short ball. It's got to be accurate, and that was absolutely on the money.
Yep, absolutely right. A brilliant delivery. His 12th five-wicket haul in first-class cricket. His first in the shirt of Kent. Well bowled, Keith Dudgeon. And Kent supporters, I reckon you've got yourself a decent signing there for the summer of 2025. It's just awkward, isn't it, for Dom Leach? And new man then. What's the man that you were a little bit excited to see this morning? Is Liam Guthrie. Walked out at number 10 to join George Bartlett. Cavalier Woody Guthrie.
Zorro.
Zorro.
The flashing blade.
8 down, Northamptonshire. Kent just need 2 wickets. What changes? Anything here? Guthrie possibly isn't going to bat for George Bartlett. Is this the time for the both of them just to up it a little bit?
Yeah, I think probably.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, Northampton still need the best part of 150, don't they? And you've got to play to your strength. Liam Guthrie likes to put bat to ball. He's probably going to play that way. And I don't think George Bartlett does too much different. I think he plays to his strengths, which is to play what's in front of him. He may kind of go through. Oh, that's gone through him. Wow. What a delivery.
What a take by Harry Finch as well.
Yeah, he may just sort of move through from third gear to fourth gear, but I don't anticipate. Oof, play that. I don't anticipate him changing completely, but no. I think Liam Guthrie is entitled to play a few shots. You never know, can make a big dent in this number, or a dent in the number.
Flicked into the leg side. Just the one. Just a reminder, having watched that replay from Nathan Gilchrist, the ball before, he's still only got one wicket in this innings. No idea how.
No, he has bowled beautifully, actually. And Keith Tudgin's 5 for. Does that happen if Nathan Gilchrist and co are bowling cut balls every other ball? It probably doesn't, does it? It's the bowling in partnerships, passing the baton on to the new bowler who replaces you. And Kent have done that very well. They've bowled very well as a unit. You know, it looked a good bowling unit to me before the start of play, and so it has proven to be. They've bowled very, very well.
Have indeed. Well, Liam Guthrie will shape up for his first ball in the second innings. The first innings was exciting, and we've seen that time around was a little bit more restrained there from Liam Guthrie.
He's giving himself a couple to look at. To be fair to Liam Guthrie, he only threw his hands at width.
Yeah.
I mean, when he did, wow, he did throw his hands at it. But when it was straighter, he did cover up pretty well.
I don't think they're going to be offering a great deal of width, are they, to Liam Guthrie? They've covered off that deep third, deep backward point area where those cut shots did go aerially down to the boundary. So they've taken away the big scoring option there for the Australian quick.
And they've done that quickly, haven't they? So third man has gone almost behind third slip, and he's there not for the outside edge. He's there for the ramp shot.
Which he tries to, well, shape up for anywhere through the offside. I think he would have been quite happy to have seen that one disappear off to. As it is, it doesn't. It's not connected with. It's a dot ball to finish. Northamptonshire 113 for 8. George Bartlett, the man, not out. And Liam Guthrie yet to get off the mark.
Yeah, as you'd expect, fields from Kent are kind of in out, aren't they? They want to protect boundaries. They want to take chances when they come along. So they've, and a good example of that is now to the guy who's in on 59, to the batter of the partnership, still got 3 slips in, but they've also got 4 men on the boundary. So you can have a 1.
And there is the 1. Strokes out to the man at deep point. 114 for 8.
Tom Banton had a good day yesterday.
He's just been dismissed.
Oh, he's just gone.
He's just been dismissed.
Short of 400 then.
371 he made before he was bowled by Tom Hinley and caught by Gareth Roderick.
He's thrown that away.
Yeah, hasn't he? Should have gone on.
He was on for a big one.
403 balls, 56 4s and 2 6s for Tom Banton. And Somerset have just declared on the fall of Tom Banton at 670 for 7 in response to Worcestershire's first innings score of 154 all out. Gone. Guthrie's out, straight through him. Dudgeon gets 6 with a Yorker. Guthrie had no answer. Northamptonshire are 9 down, just needing 1 wicket to win Kent County Cricket Club to get their 2025 off to a winning start.
Well, we've said all along how straight Kent have not only tried to bowl, have succeeded in bowling extremely straight. They've very rarely left the stumps. there's been very little channel. There's been a bit, but mostly most balls have been directed at the stumps. And this is another one. I just went through him, didn't it, really? Maybe did him a little bit for pace. Does he fall over it a little bit? I mean, he's entitled to. Swung at him a little bit. He just missed. I mean, that ball really is probably, a batter's probably pushing that up to mid-off, I think, on that line. I'm not quite sure where Liam Guthrie was hitting it. He was moving all over the place. I think it did him a little bit for movement, a little bit for pace, and a little bit for capability. And yeah, a third. And a sixth for Keith Dudgeon.
Yeah, 6 for Dudgeon. Rafi Wetherill, the new and last man in to the crease for Northamptonshire. Dudgeon searching for 7.
Yeah, and he's got 4 balls, potentially 4 balls at Rafi Wetherill. We won't see too many boundary fielders, I suspect, here, as Kent will want to keep Rafi Wetherill on strike for as long as they can.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I can't bowl them, but if I could, I'd be thinking about one up the chimney here, first up for Rafi Wetherill.
Yeah.
Try and bring that man in at short leg. They've got another one in that slip cordon now. So they've got 3 slips. There's a deep 4th, which I don't think I've seen employed very often, but they're there, and then a bit of an orthodox gully. Dudgeon starts pitched up, which is defended well by Rafi Wetherill.
I've got a feeling, and I hope I'm right for so many reasons, that I think Rafi Wetherill is probably, depends who else is in the side, right? I mean, when we got promoted in 2013, at times David Murphy was batting at number 11. So it depends who the other 10 are. But I've got a feeling Rafi Wetherill might be better than a number 11. As his career progresses, I think he might find himself nudging up the order a wee bit. I mean, not getting too lofty about it, but
gone straight through him. He's lasted 2 balls. Keith Dudgeon's gone for the Yorker, and Rafi Wetherill's off stump is removed from the ground at Northamptonshire, and it's all over. Kent have won the opening fixture of the 2025 Rothesay County Championship. The first result to come in of the weekend as well, as they've beaten Northamptonshire comprehensively here at the county ground by 146 runs.
Oh, sorry, Rafi, I kind of talked that into that ball gets a lot of people out, doesn't it? It was a very well-directed Yorker. As you can see, it knocked the stump out of the ground. 2 stumps remain with a bail, which is always a sorry sight. Don't look back as a batter. You walk off and hear the rattle, because that's not what you want to see. I mean, firstly, Keith Dudgeon, brilliant again, 7 for 36. And those figures don't really flatter him. He's just bowled absolutely brilliantly as part of a brilliant Kent attack. I used the word earlier today, overpowered. You know, I think it was relentless. It was high quality.
Yeah.
Whenever a new bowler came on, just picked up where the previous guy had left off. You know, Jazz Singh and Grant Stewart supported Gilchrist and Dudgeon brilliantly. And Joey Everson was no slouch when he took the ball as well, got on the wickets column during the game. So Kent's bowling really was the reason they've won the game so comprehensively by a pretty big margin in a low-scoring game of 145. Plenty to think about from Northamptonshire perspective. I think it's far too early for anyone to make too many judgments about the Northamptonshire side. You can judge this game, for sure, but you know it's going to be a long season. It is a long season. There's a lot of cricket to play. Give the new regime some time to make some impression. It's very early days. This is a disappointing result, no doubt. There have been some positives, though, you know, and the positives that have been are not insignificant. I think that for me, the major positive has been Rafi Wetherill back on the cricket field, as you said earlier, Dan, and showing class. You know, he looks a classy young English seam bowler. That's been good to see. As a group, the way that they bounced back after lunch yesterday, taking 10 wickets in the session. Let's not forget that, because that's not going to happen very often during this season. That was a huge positive. Elements of our out cricket were good. The intensity in the field was largely better than I've seen, the body language, etc. Good start to the season for Keogh again with the bat. George Bartlett getting runs under enormous pressure was really good to see as well. Liam Guthrie, perhaps a little undercooked in terms of overs in his legs right now, but showed enough to say that looks a good bit of business. Justin Broad with the ball, backed up the front line seamers very well. Thought Luke Proctor bowled well at times. And after a difficult start to the match with the ball, Dom Leach bounced back well, particularly when he bowled from the Lynn Wilson end, and Safe Save contributed, albeit it was a cameo, but he contributed with the ball as well. So there are some positives there, but the headline for me is out bowled, out caught, and comprehensively, I'm afraid, beaten in this one, but they'll bounce back.
Yep, I completely agree with that. I think they will. It will be a tough challenge for Northamptonshire to bounce back because they've got Lancashire at Old Trafford next weekend. It will be a tough venue to go to. Another one of those counties that were relegated from Division 1 at the end of 2024. But I think you've pretty much summed everything up really well there. Phil, Kent have been superb. Looks like they've got a fantastic overseas cricketer with Keith Dudgeon. It was a tough pitch to go and score runs on, but given the opportunity, the Kent middle order and top order in the second innings did apply themselves in tough conditions. And they've gone on to be victorious by 145 runs. I believe the points are 19 for Kent with those 3 bowling bonus points from the first innings and just the 3 for Northamptonshire to come away from this fixture. The stream at Northamptonshire is powered by Daffabet. My name's Dan Jadzovic. I've been joined by Phil Rowe for the 2 days and half an hour that we've had here. And we'll be Northamptonshire away from home for a little while now. So without anything more to say, I guess we'll see you in May, I think.
Yeah, thanks for your company.
Thank you very much.